When Marcus saw the pregnant teenager shivering at the bus stop in the pouring rain, he made a split-second decision that would change both their lives forever. But he had no idea that saving this scared young girl would actually end up saving his own broken family. Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. The rain hammered against the windshield of Marcus Thompson's old pickup truck as he drove through the dark streets of downtown. It was past midnight, and he was exhausted after working a double shift at the construction site. All he wanted was to get home to his 8-year-old daughter Lily, who was staying with his neighbor Mrs. Rodriguez for the night. As he approached the bus stop on Main Street, his headlights caught something that made his heart stop. A young girl, maybe 16 or 17, was huddled under the small bus shelter. She was soaking wet despite the roof, her thin jacket doing nothing to protect her from the cold November rain. But what shocked Marcus most was her condition. Even in the dim light, he could see she was heavily pregnant. Marcus pulled over without thinking. He had seen too much hardship in his 35 years to drive past someone in need. Growing up in foster care, he knew what it felt like to be alone and scared. He grabbed his spare jacket from the back seat and ran through the rain to the bus shelter. "Miss, are you okay?" he called out, trying not to startle her. The girl looked up with wide, frightened eyes. She was just a child herself, with long brown hair plastered to her face and tears mixing with the raindrops on her cheeks. "I'm fine," she whispered, but her voice was shaking so badly that Marcus could barely understand her. "No, you're not fine. You're soaking wet and it's freezing out here." Marcus held out his jacket. "Here, take this." The girl stared at the jacket but didn't reach for it. "I can't. I don't have any money to pay you back." "I don't want money," Marcus said gently. "I just want to help. When's the last time you ate something?" The girl's hand moved unconsciously to her swollen belly. "Yesterday morning, I think." Marcus felt his heart break. "What's your name?" "Emma," she said quietly. "Emma, I'm Marcus. I have a daughter about your age, well, younger, but still. I can't leave you out here like this. Will you let me help you?" Emma looked into his eyes and saw something she hadn't seen in months: genuine kindness. "I don't want to be any trouble." "You're not trouble. You're a kid who needs help." Marcus made a decision that would change both their lives forever. "You're coming with me." Emma hesitated, every instinct telling her not to trust a stranger. But as another gust of cold wind cut through her thin clothes, she realized she didn't have many choices left. "I don't even know you," she said weakly. "I know. But I'm not going to hurt you. I'm a father and right now, you need someone to look out for you." Marcus kept his voice calm and steady. "I have a warm house, food and a guest room. No strings attached." Emma studied his face in the dim light. She had become good at reading people over the past few months on the streets. Some men had offered her help before, but their eyes had held something dark and dangerous. Marcus's eyes were different. They reminded her of her father's before he died. "Okay," she whispered. Marcus helped her into his truck and turned the heat up high. As they drove through the quiet streets, he glanced at her in the passenger seat. She was shivering despite the warm air, her hands protectively cradling her belly. "How far along are you?" he asked gently. 7 months, Emma replied. "Maybe 8. I'm not really sure." "Have you been to a doctor?" Emma shook her head. "I don't have insurance. I can't afford it." Marcus felt anger rising in his chest, not at Emma, but at whatever circumstances had led a pregnant teenager to be alone on the streets. "We'll figure that out tomorrow. Tonight, you just need to get warm and fed." They pulled into the driveway of a modest 2-story house with a small front yard. It wasn't fancy, but it looked like a home. "This is it," Marcus said. "It's not much, but it's warm and safe." Mrs. Rodriguez met them at the door, her kind eyes immediately taking in Emma's condition. She was a woman in her 60s who had helped Marcus with childcare since his wife died 3 years ago. "Marcus, what?" she started, then stopped herself. "Never mind. Let me get some towels." "Mrs. Rodriguez, this is Emma. She's going to stay with us for a while." Mrs. Rodriguez nodded without question. She had raised 6 children of her own and had seen enough of life to understand when someone needed help without explanations. While Emma dried off and changed into some of Marcus's old clothes, he explained the situation to Mrs. Rodriguez in hushed tones. "She's just a baby herself," Mrs. Rodriguez whispered, her voice full of sympathy. "Where's her family?" "I don't know yet. She seems scared to talk about it." When Emma emerged from the bathroom, she looked small and lost in Marcus's oversized sweatshirt and sweatpants. Mrs. Rodriguez immediately went into mother mode. "You sit down, Mija. I'll make you something to eat." "I don't want to be any trouble," Emma said again. No trouble at all. You're eating for two now. As Mrs. Rodriguez bustled around the kitchen, Marcus showed Emma to the guest room. It was simple but clean, with a comfortable bed and a window that looked out onto the backyard. "This is yours for as long as you need it," he said. "The bathroom is right across the hall. There are clean towels in the closet." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "Why are you being so nice to me? You don't even know me." Marcus sat on the edge of the bed. "When I was about your age, I was in the foster system. Some families were good to me, others weren't. But I learned that sometimes all it takes is one person who cares to change everything." "I'm not a charity case," Emma said, a flash of pride in her voice. "I know you're not. But everyone needs help sometimes. Even me." The next morning, Emma woke up to the sound of a child's laughter. For a moment she forgot where she was and panicked. Then she remembered she was safe in a warm bed with a roof over her head. She dressed quickly and made her way downstairs, following the smell of pancakes and bacon. In the kitchen, she found Marcus making breakfast while a little girl with curly brown hair sat at the table, chattering excitedly. "Daddy, you said we could go to the park today if it wasn't raining." "I know, Lily. We'll see how the weather looks after breakfast." The little girl noticed Emma in the doorway and waved enthusiastically. "Hi. I'm Lily. Are you my daddy's friend?" Emma looked at Marcus uncertainly. "I'm Emma. And yes, I'm your daddy's friend." "Cool. Do you want to come to the park with us?" Before Emma could answer, Marcus intervened. "Lily, let Emma eat breakfast first. She might be tired." As they ate, Emma watched the easy interaction between father and daughter. Marcus was patient and gentle, making silly faces to make Lily laugh and cutting her pancakes into perfect squares just the way she liked them. "Daddy, why does Emma look like she swallowed a basketball?" Lily asked innocently. Marcus nearly choked on his coffee. "Lily, that's not polite to ask." Emma smiled for the first time in weeks. "It's okay. I have a baby in my tummy." Lily's eyes went wide. "A real baby? When is it coming out?" "Soon," Emma said. "Can I help take care of it? I'm really good with babies. I helped take care of my cousin when she was little." Marcus saw tears forming in Emma's eyes again. "We'll see, sweetheart. Why don't you go get ready for the park?" After Lily ran upstairs to get dressed, Marcus poured Emma another cup of hot chocolate and sat down across from her. "You don't have to tell me anything you don't want to," he said. "But if you're comfortable sharing, I'd like to know how you ended up on the streets." Emma stared into her cup for a long moment. "My dad died in a car accident 8 months ago. We didn't have much money, and after the funeral expenses, there wasn't anything left. My mom, she started drinking more. Then she met this guy, Rick." She paused, her hands tightening around the mug. "Rick didn't like having me around. He said I was a reminder of my dad and that my mom needed to move on. When I told him I was pregnant, Rick went crazy. He said I was a disgrace and that I couldn't live in his house anymore." Marcus felt his jaw clench. "What about your mom?" "She chose him over me." Emma's voice was barely a whisper. "She said I had made my choice by getting pregnant, and now I had to live with it." "What about the baby's father?" Emma's face hardened. "Tyler. He was my boyfriend at school. When I told him I was pregnant, he said it wasn't his problem and that I should just get rid of it. Then he started telling everyone at school that I was lying about him being the father." Marcus reached across the table and gently touched her hand. "I'm sorry, Emma. No one should have to go through that alone. I lived in my car for a while, but then it broke down and I couldn't afford to fix it. I've been staying in shelters when I can, but most of them are full. Last night, I had nowhere else to go." "Well, you have somewhere now," Marcus said firmly. "For as long as you need it." The next morning, Marcus took Emma to the community health clinic. Dr. Sarah Chin, a kind woman in her 40s, examined Emma with gentle efficiency. "You're about 32 weeks along," Dr. Chin said. "The baby seems healthy, but you're underweight and dehydrated. Have you been eating regularly?" Emma shook her head, embarrassed. "That's okay. We'll get you on a proper nutrition plan. I'm also going to prescribe some prenatal vitamins." Dr. Chin turned to Marcus. "Are you the father?" "No, I'm a friend. Emma's been staying with me." Dr. Chin nodded without judgment. "Emma, do you have any family who can help you?" "No," Emma said quietly. "It's just me." "Well, not anymore," Marcus said. "She's not alone." After the appointment, Marcus drove Emma to the grocery store. She had never seen someone put so much thought into shopping for food. "What do you like to eat?" he asked, pushing the cart down the produce aisle. "I'm not picky," Emma said. "I'll eat anything." "That's not what I asked. What do you like?" Emma thought for a moment. I used to love my dad's spaghetti and meatballs. And chocolate chip cookies. Then that's what we'll make tonight. As they shopped, Marcus filled the cart with fresh fruits and vegetables, lean proteins and whole grains. He explained how different foods would help the baby grow strong and healthy. You're spending too much money on me, Emma protested. I'm investing in the future, Marcus replied. Yours and the baby's. Over the next few weeks, Emma began to settle into a routine. She helped with household chores despite Marcus's protests that she should rest. She insisted on earning her keep. I'm not helpless, she said when he tried to stop her from doing laundry. I'm pregnant, not broken. Emma also became Lily's unofficial homework helper. She was naturally good with children and had been an excellent student before her life fell apart. You're really smart, Lily said one afternoon as Emma helped her with math problems. Are you going to finish high school? The question hit Emma like a punch to the gut. She had been so focused on surviving day to day that she hadn't thought about her future. I don't know, she admitted. I dropped out when everything happened. That evening, Marcus brought up the subject over dinner. I've been thinking about what Lily said earlier. About school. Emma pushed her food around her plate. I can't go back. Everyone knows about everything. And besides, I'll have the baby soon. What if I told you there was another way? Online school maybe, or a GED program. I can't afford it. We'll figure it out. Education is important, Emma. Not just for you but for your baby too. Emma looked at him with a mixture of hope and fear. Why do you care so much about what happens to me? Marcus was quiet for a moment. Because I see potential in you. You're strong, smart, and kind. You've survived things that would break most people. Your baby is going to need a mother who believes in herself. That night, Emma lay in bed with her hand on her belly, feeling the baby kick. For the first time in months, she allowed herself to think about the future. Not just surviving but actually living. 3 weeks later, Emma was helping Lily with her art project when the doorbell rang. Marcus was at work and Emma had offered to pick Lily up from school. I'll get it, Lily said, running to the door. Emma heard voices and then Lily calling, Emma, there's a lady here to see you. Emma's blood ran cold. Standing in the doorway was her mother, Linda, looking older and more tired than Emma remembered. Hello, Emma, Linda said quietly. Mom? Emma's voice was flat. What are you doing here? Can we talk? Emma wanted to say no, but Lily was watching with curious eyes. Lily, why don't you go play in your room for a few minutes? Once they were alone, Linda sat down on the couch and looked at Emma with sad eyes. You look good, she said. Healthy. No thanks to you. Linda flinched. I deserve that. I came to apologize, Emma. And to ask if you'll come home. Home? Emma laughed bitterly. You mean back to Rick's house where I'm not wanted? Rick's gone. I threw him out last week. Linda's voice was barely a whisper. I finally realized what I had done. I chose a man I barely knew over my own daughter. Emma felt her heart start to race. It's too late, Mom? Is it? You're my daughter, Emma. And that's my grandchild you're carrying. I want to help. Where were you when I was sleeping in my car? Where were you when I was hungry and cold and scared? Linda started to cry. I was being a fool. I was so lost after your father died and Rick made me feel like I wasn't alone. But I was wrong. I should have protected you. Emma stood up, her hands shaking. I can't do this right now. I need you to leave. Emma, please? No. You made your choice. Now I'm making mine. When Marcus came home that evening, he found Emma in the backyard, sitting on the swing he had built for Lily. She was crying softly, her hands wrapped around her belly. Hey, he said gently, sitting on the swing next to her. Lily told me your mom came by. Emma wiped her eyes. She wants me to come home. She says she's sorry and that she threw Rick out. How do you feel about that? I don't know. Part of me wants to believe her, but... Emma's voice broke. She hurt me so badly, Marcus. She chose him over me when I needed her most. Marcus was quiet for a moment. You know, when I was in foster care, my birth mother tried to get me back several times. She would get clean, find a job, promise she had changed. And every time, I would hope it was real. What happened? Sometimes people do change. But sometimes they don't. And sometimes, even when they do change, the damage is already done. Emma looked at him. Are you saying I shouldn't forgive her? I'm saying you should do what's best for you and your baby. If that means giving your mom another chance, then that's what you should do. But if it means staying here with people who have proven they'll be there for you, that's okay too. What if I'm making a mistake either way? Then you'll figure it out. That's what strong people do. 2 weeks later, Emma woke up in the middle of the night with a sharp pain in her lower back. She tried to ignore it, but the pain kept getting worse. When she felt the first real contraction, she knew it was time. "Marcus," she called out, her voice tight with pain. He was at her door in seconds, still in his pajamas. "Is it the baby?" "I think so." Marcus sprang into action, calling Mrs. Rodriguez to come stay with Lily and grabbing the hospital bag they had packed weeks ago. During the drive to the hospital, Emma gripped Marcus's hand tightly as another contraction hit. "I'm scared," she whispered. "I know. But you're going to be okay. You're the strongest person I know." At the hospital, the nurses quickly got Emma settled in a labor room. Dr. Chin arrived shortly after, calm and reassuring. "You're doing great, Emma," she said. "The baby's heartbeat is strong." Marcus stayed by Emma's side through the entire labor, holding her hand and encouraging her through each contraction. When she asked for her mother, he called Linda, who arrived just as Emma was entering the final stages of labor. "I'm here, baby," Linda said, tears streaming down her face. "I'm here." At 3:47 a.m., Emma's daughter was born. She was small but perfect, with a head full of dark hair and her mother's brown eyes. "She's beautiful," Dr. Chin said, placing the baby on Emma's chest. 7 pounds 2 ounces. Emma looked down at her daughter and felt her heart explode with love. All the pain, all the fear, all the uncertainty, none of it mattered now. She was holding her child. "Hello, little one," she whispered. "I'm your mama." Marcus stood back, giving Emma and her mother space to bond with the baby. But Emma looked up at him with tears in her eyes. "Marcus, come here. I want you to meet someone." He approached carefully, his own eyes misty. "What's her name?" Emma smiled. "Hope. Her name is Hope." "Hope," Marcus repeated softly. "It's perfect." Linda watched the interaction with a mixture of gratitude and regret. She could see the bond between Marcus and Emma, the way he had supported her daughter through everything. "Thank you," Linda said to Marcus, "for taking care of my girl when I couldn't." "She took care of herself," Marcus replied. "I just gave her a safe place to do it." The first few weeks with Hope were challenging but wonderful. Emma threw herself into motherhood with the same determination she had shown in survival. She researched everything about baby care, insisted on breastfeeding despite the difficulties, and barely slept. Marcus helped however he could, getting up for nighttime feedings when Hope needed formula, doing extra laundry and making sure Emma ate regular meals. Lily was completely smitten with the baby. She would sit for hours just watching Hope sleep, and she insisted on helping with diaper changes and bath time. "She's like a real live doll," Lily said one afternoon, gently stroking Hope's tiny hand. "She's not a doll, sweetheart," Emma said with a smile. "She's a person. A very small person who's going to grow up to be strong and smart. Like you." Emma felt tears prick her eyes. "I hope so." Linda visited regularly, trying to rebuild her relationship with Emma. It was slow going and there were still difficult conversations ahead, but Emma was gradually learning to trust her mother again. "I know I have a lot to make up for," Linda said one evening as she helped Emma fold baby clothes. "But I want to be part of Hope's life. And yours." "I want that too," Emma said. "But it's going to take time." "I have time," Linda replied. "All the time in the world." When Hope was 2 months old, Emma and Marcus had a conversation that had been building for weeks. "I've been thinking about the future," Emma said as they sat on the porch after dinner, Hope sleeping peacefully in her arms. "What about it?" "I want to go back to school. Get my GED, maybe even go to college someday. I want Hope to be proud of me." Marcus smiled. "She's already going to be proud of you. But I think that's a great plan. The thing is, I don't know if I should move back in with my mom. She's been trying so hard to make things right, and Hope should know her grandmother." Marcus felt his heart sink, but he kept his voice steady. "If that's what you think is best for you and Hope, then that's what you should do. But I want you to know that you and Hope always have a place here. For as long as you want it." Emma looked at him carefully. "Is that all you want? For us to just have a place to stay?" The question hung in the air between them. Marcus had been asking himself the same thing for weeks. "No," he said finally. "It's not all I want." "What else do you want?" Marcus took a deep breath. "I want to be part of your life. Part of Hope's life. I want to watch her grow up and help her with her homework and teach her to ride a bike. I want to be there for her first day of school and her graduation and her wedding someday." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "And what about me? What do you want with me?" "I want to love you. I want to support your dreams and celebrate your successes and hold you when things get hard. I want to be your partner in raising Hope if you'll have me." Even though she's not your biological daughter? Biology doesn't make a father, Emma. Love does. And I love that little girl like she's my own blood. Emma leaned over and kissed him softly. I love you too, Marcus. And I want all of those things with you. 6 months later, on Hope's first birthday, Marcus surprised Emma with a question that changed everything. They were having a small party in the backyard with Linda, Mrs. Rodriguez, and a few neighbors. Hope was sitting in her high chair, more interested in smearing cake frosting on her face than eating it. She's going to need a bath after this, Emma laughed, wiping chocolate from Hope's nose. I'll handle it, Marcus said. But first I have something for you. He pulled out a small velvet box and got down on one knee right there in front of everyone. Emma, a year and a half ago I met a scared teenager at a bus stop. I saw someone who needed help, but I had no idea that she was actually going to save me. Emma's hands flew to her mouth as she realized what was happening. You brought joy back into my life. You showed Lily what it means to be strong and brave. You gave me hope, literally, and you made me believe in family again. He opened the box to reveal a simple but beautiful diamond ring. Emma, will you marry me? Will you let me be Hope's father officially? Will you help me raise Lily and give her the mother she's been missing? Emma was crying so hard she could barely speak. Yes, she whispered. Yes, yes, yes. As Marcus slipped the ring onto her finger, Hope clapped her sticky hands together and babbled happily, as if she understood that something wonderful was happening. Lily ran over and hugged them both. Does this mean Emma's going to be my real mom now? If you want me to be, Emma said, pulling Lily close. I do. I really, really do. They were married on a beautiful spring day in the same backyard where Marcus had proposed. Emma wore a simple white dress and carried a bouquet of white roses. Hope, now walking but still unsteady, served as the flower girl with Lily's help. As they exchanged vows, Emma looked into Marcus's eyes and saw her future, a future full of love, laughter, and possibility. I promise to love you through good times and bad, she said. I promise to be a good mother to Lily and to raise our children with kindness and strength. I promise to never give up on us. Marcus's vows were equally heartfelt. I promise to support your dreams and believe in you even when you don't believe in yourself. I promise to love Hope as my own daughter and to be the father she deserves. I promise to show you every day that you are worthy of love. When the minister pronounced them husband and wife, Hope squealed with delight from Linda's arms, and Lily threw flower petals in the air. 2 years later, Emma walked across the stage to receive her high school diploma. In the audience, Marcus cheered loudly while balancing 2-year-old Hope on his shoulders. Lily, now 10, held up a homemade sign that read, "Way to go, Mom." Emma had not only earned her GED but had done so with honors. She was starting community college in the fall, majoring in early childhood education. I'm so proud of you, Marcus said when she met them after the ceremony. Mama smart. Hope declared, clapping her hands. Very smart, Marcus agreed. And very determined. Emma looked at her family because that's what they were now, a real family, and felt overwhelming gratitude. She thought about that scared, pregnant teenager who had been sitting at a bus stop 2.5 years ago. She could never have imagined that her life would turn out this way. Thank you, she said to Marcus, for seeing something in me that I couldn't see in myself. Thank you for letting me be part of your journey. 5 years after that rainy night at the bus stop, Emma stood in the kitchen of their new house, preparing dinner for her family. She was 23 now, a college graduate with a degree in early childhood education and a job at a local preschool. Hope, now 5, was in the living room with her baby brother, 2-year-old James, reading him a picture book. Lily, 15 and taller than Emma, was helping Marcus fix a leaky faucet in the upstairs bathroom. Linda visited regularly and had become a loving grandmother to all 3 children. She had also started volunteering at a women's shelter, helping other mothers who had lost their way. Mama, when's dinner? Hope called out. 5 minutes, sweetheart, Emma called back. As she stirred the spaghetti sauce, the same recipe her father had taught her years ago, Emma reflected on the journey that had brought her here. She had learned that sometimes the worst moments in life can lead to the greatest blessings. That family isn't always about blood, but about the people who choose to love you and stand by you. Marcus came into the kitchen and wrapped his arms around her waist from behind. What are you thinking about? He asked. Just how lucky I am, Emma said, leaning back against his chest. We're all lucky, he corrected. That night at the bus stop I thought I was helping you. But you ended up saving me too. How did I save you? You showed me that love can grow in the most unexpected places. You gave me the family I never knew I was missing. Emma turned in his arms and kissed him softly. I love you, Marcus Thompson. I love you too, Emma Thompson. From the living room, they could hear Hope's voice as she continued reading to James, and Lily's laughter as she joked with her dad. The house was filled with the sounds of a happy family, a family that had come together through kindness, determination, and love. 10 years later, Emma stood in front of a group of teenage mothers at a community center, telling her story. She had started a nonprofit organization called Hope's Place, which provided support, housing, and education opportunities for young mothers in crisis. I want you to know that your story isn't over, she told the group. It doesn't matter how scared you are or how alone you feel. There is always hope and there are always people who care. After the meeting, a young girl approached her. She was maybe 16, with frightened eyes and a belly that showed she was expecting. Miss Thompson, I don't have anywhere to go. My mom kicked me out and I don't know what to do. Emma's heart filled with compassion. What's your name, sweetie? Rebecca. Rebecca, you're not alone. We're going to figure this out together. As Emma helped Rebecca fill out paperwork for temporary housing, she thought about the cycle of kindness that had started with one man's decision to help a stranger at a bus stop. Marcus had shown her that sometimes all it takes is one person who cares to change everything. Now it was her turn to be that person for someone else. Hope, now 15 and already talking about becoming a social worker, helped with the paperwork. She had grown up knowing her story and was proud of how far her family had come. Mom, remember when you used to tell me about that night at the bus stop? Hope asked as they drove home. Of course. It was the night that changed everything. Do you think Dad knew how much he was changing our lives when he stopped? Emma smiled. I think he just knew that someone needed help. And that was enough. As they pulled into the driveway of their home, Emma saw Marcus in the yard with James, now 12, teaching him to throw a baseball. Lily, now 25 and married with a baby of her own, was visiting with her family. It was a beautiful scene, 3 generations of a family that had been built on love, kindness, and the belief that everyone deserves a chance at happiness. Emma thought about all the young mothers she had helped over the years, all the families that had been created through acts of compassion. She thought about the ripple effect of one man's decision to offer help to a stranger. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can change the world. And sometimes, when you think you're just helping someone else, you end up finding exactly what you didn't know you were looking for.